Hi, this is Lorena, and I wanted to do a tutorial on feathering the spine. This spine I'm going to call the disappearing spine because it disappears as the spine. Those feathers connect to the spine. But first of all, I want to talk about two feathers that we're going to do. One is called repeating the stem feather. And so here I'm just showing you where you repeat and you follow that stem line again. And I call it repeating the stem because you're repeating the stem line and you're re-stitching in the stem area. And so that's what I call it. So here is called the following the stem feather. Now initially, and I call it disappearing because you stitch up and then you go all the way down, and here you see me as I'm drawing, me following that stem line, and I'm repeating that same stitch again, and you see me drawing those feathers. Now I'm also going to show a different video, the same video, I'm following the stems, but I'm going to focus in a different area. Now I've noticed that I like using this feather, and you could use both feathers that I'm going to show you kind of in the same feather. It just creates a variety, but this feather following the stem feather, I usually use it on one. Now I want to show you on this video, one of the things that I want to focus on is how when you get in that little gap area, how it creates these little feathers that make the feather even look like it's kind of curving or even leaning on itself. And so before I used to have a really hard time because I didn't know what to do there. So I just wanted to show you just what I did there. So when there's an area where it's kind of folding over or I'm even losing space, I draw a feather in that space and little feathers on top of it as if it's leaning on top of itself. So here we're going on the machine, and I'm going to go ahead and quilt it. Now, it's a disappearing spine because you draw one spine and you stitch right on top of the same line. Now, this is a little bit harder, but it's a really great practice on learning how to be consistent and follow the single line and restitch on the line. And so here you see me drawing, quilting a feather that folds on itself so it feels like the feather itself is moving, kind of leaning over. And here I call this arcing around the feather, but it is also, I forgot the word right now. It is also echoing around the feather. And here you see me following the stem line right there. And now, as my space shrunk, I'm starting to make other feathers that lean on top of the other feathers as if the feather is leaning on itself. And so here, this is what is called the follow the stem feather. So I don't want to confuse you because I'm also going to show another feather that's coming up. Now, this feather is called repeating the arc feather, and it's the disappearing repeating the arc feather. And so here I am going to go into a tutorial where I draw the feather itself. So here's the feather, and the difference is you start from a different position. And so here I start and you arc there, and then you go back in a different position and you arc right there. You arc every other one. But you never follow the stem on this feather, and it makes plumpier, fuller feathers. So here I'm drawing it, and here's a drawn feather, and I'm going from a different position, not following the stem, and I'm tapping that feather right there. Then I'm arcing the same feather I just created and created a new one and going to the very bottom. And here I am tapping the feather that I just created, and I'm arcing in a different position, and I'm creating new feather and going all the way down. Now what this does, it creates very fuller, fatter feather prongs. Here I am, I've drawn my spine and I have my leaf bottom and I drew a feather and I'm coming from a different position and I'm supposed to have arced, but here I'm going back and here I go back up, tap the feather and then arc and then go back down. And what I did is I was showing differences in the size of the inside of the spine. So here I'm tapping right there and arcing, and here you see me going back to the spine. Now I'm going to go on the other side so you can see. The neat thing about this feather is you could change the variety, and it looks like the feather can lean on top of a feather or lean over, and that's what makes this feather very elegant. So here I am drawing the feather, and here's arcing, and I'm tapping and arcing, and it's going a little bit fast, but in a minute I'll show you in the video on the long arm. And so here I'm following the spine, and then I'm going to go ahead and echo all the way around. I always echo on my designs because I want the eye to kind of have a little bit rest. It's almost like a framework of whatever you just quilted. So here I am drawing the spine, following that line as close as I can. I did my little leaf motif, and here I am tapping the other feather, arcing right there, and going down to the spine. And here I am tapping the feather, arcing again, and going back to the spine. And you keep doing that. And here I kind of messed up because I visually got confused. So I'm trying to make feathers. And so here I go back to getting it right. Here I tap the feather, arcing again, and then here I'm creating the other feather. Here I am making another feather. Now I went down and followed the spine because I'm getting visually confused. But the good thing about these two techniques is you can use them in randomness. You don't have to do one or the other. I'm just showing one or the other so that you can visually see them. But here I am just trying to give you a variety of these two feathers. Now, here I am repeating the arc, and I'm creating a new feather, and I'm tapping that feather, and I'm arcing. The neat thing about this position right here is you can get your feather to go over the feather as if it's leaning or arcing on top of it. And what makes this feather really neat, they're plumpier, they're fatter, they look like they're in motion more, as if the wind is pushing them or something. I didn't do a large variety of curvature of the spine because that creates a different visual when you're making feathers with spines. So this is called the following the stem feather. This is what this one looks like, just in case on the machine you don't see them as well. Next picture is called the repeating the arc feather. And I really thank you for watching my videos and subscribing. I also have a blog called A Thread of Scarlet blogspot, I think, and also I started on Facebook, Lorena's Quilting. If you want to post some pictures on there of your practices, I would love to see them. I think it'd be fun. Also, I have an Instagram that my kids started for me, so I'm not really a techie person, but I'm trying to get out there more. I really thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.